Oh, hello there. Yes. Well, this weather makes me so sleepy. Oh, is it spring yet? Anyway, there was lots of cheer, I think, in the last 24 hours. Certainly, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, one of the things about dealing with people that are generically right-wing is, that they often just aren't enormously bright. Or if they are reasonably bright, they just don't actually think that they need to put things together. It's a sort of classic kind of public schoolboy approach to the world, whereby you can just allow gusto to see you through. And it often blindsides them in so many different ways. And I think we've seen quite a bit of this going on. And it makes you realise just how rigged the game is against the nasty wokists. But anyway, first up, I give you, in the blue corner, I give you Kemi Badenoch, who decided, having assured us but weeks ago that there was going to be no policy decisions made whatsoever in the next 2 years, has decided to come out of the gates, well, rolling with not quite so much low-hanging fruit as stuff that's pre-packaged and readily available in the supermarkets, because, of course, the problem if you're reform is that there will be an insurgent right-wing party, and who's a better insurgent right-wing party than the Conservatives, and doing what they always do, which is to steal reform's clothes. So here she is, storming out the gate with the idea that they're going to do something which won't make any difference to anything, and people kind of do that anyway, style policy, as many people indeed yesterday were pointing out. But the thing about this is, how do these people honestly believe that anyone that is basically just a racist is going to go, do you know what? That's the kind of ineffectual nothingness that I'll go for. I like big, broad plans that are absolutely meaningless, not something that's about a minutiae of whether or not someone can actually claim, according to the number of NI tax credits they had in the last fiscal year, which may or may not be offset by their employer. It's not the sort of thing that your reform vote is going to go for, is it? It's more of a machine gunning in the water style thing. But, I'm sure, with Kemi there, she was sort of wildly reported yesterday morning with a Telegraph. They'll give her loads and loads of room and say how vitally important it is that this thing that nobody gives a flying fart about is in fact vitally important, because it's all about providing a level of intellectual cover. I mean, if the worst comes to the worst, I suppose you can get Douglas Murray to do a 3-minute video, because anyone who's a bear of little brain will always find that to be very, very, very convincing, because we all know that, he's one of us. I mean, he's also one of them, which is a bit dodgy, and we might come on to that as a concept quite soon. But at least, he writes books, so he has to be bright. Yeah, he probably owns a pair of glasses, doesn't he? Yes. And of course, the archetypal one of these, as we all inevitably know that I'm going to come to, is James Esses, who did make me smile yesterday with yet another one of those kind of just generic, I'm a bigot, but I'm going to pretend it's something else, because, huddle around me, children, and be my shield. Yes, so here we go. Making pronouns visible is a really great way to signify to the community, in inverted commas, that you're a safe person. Activists masquerading as academics, yes, which inevitably is going to get, all of those usual suspects frothing at the mouth. All those people that don't actually mind gay people at all, but really don't like gay people at all. Yeah, so anyway, this is about basically a couple of doctors, people with PhDs, people with academic qualifications who really know what they're talking about, for example in psychology, who have the audacity to talk about, things that James doesn't like. Nasty bully, nasty bully, by directing people to named individuals. Of course, he makes sure that they mustn't use pronouns in their emails. I wonder if he does. Yes. And of course, James wouldn't exactly exist whatsoever if any one person in the spheres of influence that he regularly goes on, be it GB News or the Spiked crew, actually said to him, yeah, but you're not qualified, are you, for anything? Yeah? You can have a go at people with PhDs, but if you got kicked off your master's course, it's not going to look so good, is it? Oh, get some more children around me. They're having a go at me. I'll sue you. Well, you can do that, of course, can't you? But that in itself is not going so well because, oh, boo hiss, we actually get, oh no, not Graham Ninehan, not Glinner, yes, a judge has decided that someone far brighter than him is going to be allowed to sue, well, him to bits. Now, Graham is one who always decries the fact that he hasn't got any money at all. Oh, I haven't got any money. Oh, I'm living out of a cardboard box. But he makes a very, very good living in real terms because he's one of those very important people. If you want somebody to bully trans people properly, you need a Glinner, don't you? Yeah, you don't want second-rate ones like James Esses. You want a proper Glinner. But of course, he's a very wealthy man in real terms. He makes a very good living out of his nastiness. And unfortunately, someone has decided in a court of law, someone far brighter than him has decided, and including a judge who's far brighter than him, that actually is just a nasty bigot. So it'll be interesting to see that one settled out of court, almost guaranteed, and Graham, Mr. Linehan, Mr. Glinner, Mr. I'm off to the States for a more conducive environment where I can call everyone a pedo, is going to have to suck it in for a little bit, and the rest of us will take great delight in reminding him of it. And a classic example of this from a few days ago was the wonderful story, and I do have to smile at this, that a judge has decided that a black church is allowed to use the Proud Boys trademark. Yes! So we can expect a lot of Proud Boys interesting merchandise to come out of that one. Unfortunately for these people, they decide that they really don't need to know anything about anything, and then it comes along and bites them, and then they whinge about the way that the system is just against them. All they wanted to do was simply eradicate a group of people from the face of the earth, and for some reason or other, they have to put up with backlash to that. Oh dear. Still, never mind, eh? Think of the money you're making, eh? Yes. Anyway, do have a glorious end to the week. Thankfully, it is the end of the week. It might actually get above freezing in the near future, and I will be very pleased about that. I do get bored with feeling cold. I'm old.